Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube. Welcome back to Jibber Jabber. I am your host, as always, Skajarmas, otherwise known as Tone Shift. Today we have a somewhat larger house than normal of people. First of all, just going from the top of the list to the bottom, first we have Darkness sitting in the British corner.
Hey everybody, once again.
We have sitting in the foreground and just kind of there, Hades Shadow 92.
Hi.
In the background, staring at no one in particular, we have Starfish, who is presently away from his keyboard. Next up, we have Luminous Starlight.
I ship it.
Of course you do.
I
like how you don't even have to.
One,
I like how you
two,
don't even have to specify.
three,
Alistair just
4,
Darkness just loses his mind.
5. I'm good.
That's here. Next up, we have, and lastly, rounding out the British corner, we have Tom 117Z.
Hi. I just noticed something. This is one of those rare times where Paladin's not sitting in the chat like half an hour before we start.
Apparently, he lost track of time.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
Hallelujah.
So, how's everyone's week been?
Hi.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
My week's been pretty good as well. Did some writing, did some little bit of voice acting, auditioned for 2 big audiobook projects. So if I get either of them, that's going to be some pudding copy.
Any,
I'm working on a few side projects of my own.
any stories we might have heard of?
Probably not. They're kind of, not like big AAA blockbusters. Paladin's here. So now,
Welcome.
So now Soviet has someone to glare at.
Hello.
Okay, there's.
Yes.
All right.
Paladin is here to stare into your souls.
Stare into your soul and make horrible puns.
I
I was
lost
waiting
track
for
of
that.
time.
I'll say that's rare.
Excuse me.
Also, I had like an hour to kill, so I just did some stuff. So
Fair enough. So, quick heads up to the audience. You may notice that my microphone sounds a wee bit different than normal. That's because it's further away from me than normal because my microphone arm broke. So
Like mine.
yeah, so I'm having to set my microphone on a wobbly, unstable stand off to one side. So it's not directly in front of my face where I normally keep it. It's a few feet off. It's like a foot or two off to the side. So I apologize for that. Not much I can do about it because microphone arms can be kind of expensive. And once that
Yes, they
my
can.
have is fully available. So
how expensive we talking?
like $30 to $40, depending.
Actually, that's not bad. Actually,
It's not bad, but it's more than I can afford at this point.
Mm.
Because I have to save up for a big ass trip in October. Remember.
no, yeah, that's true.
But anyways,
Yes.
so we have a lineup of 3 topics today. We'll first be, of course, going over the FFD6 recap for today. We'll be talking about the latest episode of MLP, Trivial Pursuits. Then we'll be hearing more of the continuing adventures of Crimson, and if we still have time when Darkness reaches its cap-off point on that, then we'll jump into improv. So, with that in mind, go ahead and launch into the first topic, which is the FFD6 recap. Oh boy, this
very good session.
It was a very good session. There was some great role-playing in here, so...
My
Love
voice
it.
is killing, but I'll keep going.
Mine's alright. Mine suffered worse.
Yeah. It's the first time Thanatos openly and very aggressively raised his voice. So...
I shouted.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And that was very nice.
Shouted like a dragonborn.
No, shouted like
That
an
is
irritated
nice.
elf.
That is nice.
Shouted like an irritated elf, because that's what he was. An irritated elf.
If you wonder why I sent that in Jibber Jabber Roll Call, that's basically what I'm getting for Boom Arm when I get the money.
Alright, well, anyways, so... Alright. So, what happened in today's session of FFD6 is... Where they had left off, the party had finally linked up with the blue mages that Neithil had been looking for. And they made plans for the Blue Mages to go to the village of Tonberrys, who had been attacking the village of Dali in the middle of the night, seemingly in response to some slight or offense that the villagers were oblivious to. So the Blue Mages, familiar with Tonberry customs, and one of them being actually an acquaintance of the settlement itself, were going to go to the Tonberry town to try and open up a negotiating table to negotiate a ceasefire, while the rest of the party, Nee, Thanatos, Rocket, and Alistair, stayed behind in Dali to ask around about anything unusual. In so doing, they caught wind of a collection of individuals, including the Bonga that they slew back in the Black Chocobo Forest several sessions ago. Ow, darkness. Your mic. It did a thing. Let's see here. They also learned of a human man with a lot of weird tattoos and little in the way of clothing who seems to be something of a muscular monk. He looks vaguely like Balder from God of War. Then,
Not bad omen at all.
Then they learned about a tall, burly, red-skinned Galka man, and of a familiar-sounding Elvan woman who liked to carry around a gun. All of those individuals had been reported to come into the town periodically for supplies and then head back out, never really talking much about why they were here or for what reason, just they were getting supplies and going back out. As the party hunkered down before going out to get all of this info, or rather, after they got this info and were hunkering down before actually executing any plans based on it, the village was attacked by Tonberries in the night. A squad of 12 of them, and the party wound up getting engaged into battle with one of them, and it was technically a combat encounter. The thing is, Tonberries are way too high level for the party to effectively fight at this juncture. So, what they had to do was negotiate with the sucker. They had to try and
Which
talk...
I'm so glad we did do that and not be like, let's fight it.
Yeah,
No.
I'm sorry, I had family come in and I've missed 8 minutes.
Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. I'm just going through the FFD6 recap right now.
Alrighty.
So the party went into battle against the Tonberry, and were able to talk it down after about 3 rounds and convince it to waddle off and talk with its leader to try and call off the attack, at least for the night.
With Thanatos getting shanked in the process.
Yeah, about halfway through that process, Thanatos got a bit more aggressive than he probably should have, rolled low, and lost half his HP to a single attack.
Yeah, also, if we did fight this thing and managed to defeat it with some difficulty, I don't think that would have boded well for negotiating down the line.
Let me put it to you this way. The odds of you beating that thing would be even lower than when you had fought the Seed of the Plague, because these things are level 6 notorious enemies.
Yeah,
They are twice your level. Each of them is twice your level.
Well, isn't you beat someone that's higher level, you get like more experience than usual?
We're not going by experience points in this, and that's not how it works in FFD6 anyway. If you do, it's a static.
So what would have happened had we not been able to negotiate?
If you would have died.
You probably would have
We'd
been
be fucked.
Your whole group would have been KO'd, though they probably wouldn't have killed you. They would have whomped your ass and left you unconscious on the dirt before moving on.
Because I was gonna say that's a lot of character sheets we need to fucking do. Fuck that.
You awaken after your beating to find a mysterious stranger tending to your wounds.
And a knife stuck in my back.
You awaken after being knocked unconscious to find Mika Solwyn sobbing over what she thought was your dead corpse. Anyway.
My plan for fighting it though would have been like every turn I move it as much way as I could, then fire it and kind of kite it. But anyway.
Well, the thing is, the way it works mechanically is the Tonberry uses an ability referred to as Approach. And that is the ability it needs to use before it can use any of its other attacks. But once it's used Approach, so long as it doesn't suffer a knockback, it can use any of its other abilities freely. And it has 3, the way I currently have them statted. Chef's Knife, Guillotine Knife, and Everybody's Grudge. Chef's Knife just deals 60 plus 2d6 armor damage. Guillotine Knife is a slow action that instantly knocks you unconscious. And Everybody's Grudge typically just does group-wide damage, but I'm adjusting the way it works so that it goes more in line with how it actually works in the video games, so that its damage is based off of how many Tonberries or monsters have been killed in the game. And because you haven't killed any, it does 0.
Yeah. And he used it to kind of judge whether what we were saying was true.
Yeah.
You will be judged.
Kinda, yeah. Anyway, so following their negotiations with it, they were able to talk it down, went to its buddies, and was able to convince them to call off the attack, at least for the night. The Tonberries, all 12 of them, waddled off with their leader in front, and after that, the party set about tending to their wounds, getting some remaining sleep. Kelgor and Athena, the Blue Mages, left when the attack started to get a head start on their trip to Puktha, the village of the Tonberries, to start negotiations early, because they weren't anticipating an attack to come so soon. And so the Blue Mages wandered off in their own direction. Neothil and the others set about trying to figure out what they were doing in Dali, the village that had just been attacked. The first course of business was try and find these strangers that had been skulking about. And eventually, they managed to cross paths with Fane Pharaoh, he and Alistair specifically, while Rocket and Thanatos asked after the monk and Galka guy, both of which were not in the town. But Neothil and Alistair found Fane Pharaoh, who they encountered a few sessions back next to a bridge on a riverside after her boat had been capsized by a really big, angry sea turtle.
Don't fuck with a turtle.
And thrown on the beach. Anyways, so they meet up with her, get briefly caught up, try to subtly prod her to see if she knows anything, and she expertly dodges their inquiries.
Though subtlety seemed to be lost in Alistair ever so slightly.
Yeah,
By the way, we are investigating this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, trying to find the culprits. So, anyways, she made a strategic retreat, promising to tell them something if she learned anything that could be of help, which was not a lie, by the way. And, Neothil, smelling a red flag, followed her through the bushes and about an hour out of town until she found a campsite where Fane was presumably the boss of that particular campsite, with about 3 squads worth of individuals of a similar identification to the poachers that the Bonga a few sessions back had with him.
Out of curiosity, had we done what you were supposed to do and wait for Kelgor to come back, would she have gave us the tip off or something?
Potentially, if I'd thought of one for her to give you. Anyways, as it so happens, once the rest of the party caught up with Nee and Alistair and looked down at it, Rocket recognized that the campsite, which was loaded with a bunch of Magitech gadgets and gizmos, was all of that Magitech stuff comes from Devia Corp, the organization, the illegal underground group that created her. Yes?
Be right back. I'm being called to groceries.
Okay. That's fine. I'm just continuing with the recap. So, Rocket had a mild PTSD-style panic attack on seeing these things that she was not expecting at all to see today. And in the middle of her panic attack, winds up letting off a bunch of frightened and distressed sounds that draws Fane's attention, which leads to a confrontation between the group, Fane Pharaoh, and her underlings, during which some back and forth happens, and no combat happens. They actually resolve it without bloodshed, because as it so happens, there is more to Fane than just doing criminal work. As it so happens, Fane Pharaoh works for the Vinaldi family, a family that runs a massive crime organization, kind of like a big mafia group that ties into Thanatos' backstory. And Fane's predicament, according to her, is that members of her family were being held by Chakal, the leader of the Vinaldi family, forcing her to work for him in exchange for their safety. She doesn't want to, but she doesn't exactly have many other choices.
Then we offered to man a rescue mission for them if she would help us, but she wasn't willing to take the risk.
Yeah. She is terrified of Chakal, and with good reason. The fucker's terrifying.
I'm guessing this Chakal is, aside from anything that might happen to the Master, is going to be a big boss for the Thanatos down the road.
Up to you guys where you go, but probably. Anyways.
I mean, judging by Thanatos' reactions, he's going to be out tearing them apart with his bare hands.
He's gonna die.
Well, up to you what you do. Anyways. So, after talking with Fane for a bit and coming to a a hopefully peaceful understanding, Fane gave a bit of information and then told me and the others that they had to go before anyone else showed up, and learned that this interaction had even occurred, and sealed the deal by telling them a little bit about the opposition they'd be facing with the rest of the group, because Fane and the other individuals mentioned, the Galka, the monk guy, and the Banga, who's dead, were all sent by the Vinaldi family under payment of Devia Corp itself to capture a bunch of wild and exotic and magical creatures from the northern regions of the continent, where magic is particularly abundant, hence the little midgets who can summon meteors. The Taurafel. So, with all that said, she informed them a bit about them and told them where the central camp was, where all of the independent teams usually met up for meetings and discussing plans, but each individual team, Fane's team, the Galka's team, the Monk's team, etc., all have independent locations that they don't tell each other about, so that they can move more independently without disrupting each other and maintain secrecy. They all only know the locations of their own camp and the central camp. So, with the location of the central camp established, he and the others snuck their way through the woods, slept for the night in the middle of a forest clearing, and eventually came upon the site itself. A big institution that looks more like a military base than a campsite, thanks to all of the modular and transportable magitech structures that are stuck all over the place. Towards the back is an old abandoned ruin mausoleum type building, and a bunch of the animals that these individuals have managed to poach and trap, including black chocobos and presumably many others that I did not deign to explain at the time. Corals and other mainstays of the franchise, no doubt. And presumably, among all of those, and they also spotted not just a bunch of soldiers there, between poachers and Devia Corp mercenaries loaded with Magitech gear, they also spotted the Galka, Monk, and another guy another girl who presumably is the representative of Devia Corp on this assignment, ensuring that all ends of the contract are being upheld and all requirements are being met and everything is being attended to properly into the books. And a bit of side information I forgot to mention a bit ago. Fane pointed out that the reason the Tonberrys were attacking Dali was because their own town had been attacked at some point by people who had been in Dali. And some artifacts of the Tonberry village had been stolen, and that was the Monk's group, not Fane's. But she was still connected by proxy, contractual allegiance and whatnot. And the Tonberrys don't distinguish very well between individuals, like, it's a tribal thing. If you're part of the tribe, you're just as guilty as the ones who caused the trouble, So, with all of that in mind, the party set about creating a plan that, after we ended the session, was promptly dismantled and reassembled. And, the session ended with them getting together to perform this plan and see what came of it. And, there's a lot going on in this session. I loved it. Let's go.
Slightly changing.
Let's go across the list of players real quick and get everyone's favorite moments, because that's always fun to do. Starting with Lumina. What was your favorite moment this session?
I don't think she's back yet.
Okay, we'll come back to her then. Hades. What was your favorite moment this session?
That damn mic. Well, let's see. I'm kind of stuck between the confrontation with Fane and the final reveal of Thanatos' backstory, I guess.
Both good moments, yep. Because Thanatos did finally reveal stuff about his backstory, about how his family was once in servitude to the Vinaldis, and his father tried to get word to some officials somewhere else to get him out of his bond and get Vinaldi, Chakal, the leader of the Vinaldi family, taken down, which didn't go over well.
Nope.
Yeah, with some prodding from me, because she already knew that Thanatos was an orphan, knew that he had a history with his family, and then with Fane going on about how her family is being threatened and him resonating with that particularly, it was like 2 and 2.
Yeah, like, he immediately went from wanting to incinerate her to being incredibly sympathetic, like that, when he heard that.
Yeah, so it doesn't take much to his family are got fucked.
Yep. So,
Yep.
so a lot of great role playing there all around. Well done, guys. Darkness. What about you?
Like I said, it was difficult earlier before we began Jibber Jabber, but I say my two favorite moments was when we were trying to convince the Tonberry and his friends to not attack the villagers, and tell them to pull back so no one gets harmed. And the other, because that was just heart racing and just tense as hell. But anyway, the other one, the other one I would say, I definitely liked it when we confront our friend who's been working with these assholes.
You mean Fang?
Fang, yep. When we confront Fang with this horrible fate that would happen if we allow him to continue anymore. And back and forth, a lot of emotion, and it was really good, I would say. And I'm so glad we come to a good understanding that we need to find a way to get rid of this guy and, of course, save her family from the grasp of these assholes.
And Tom, your favorite moments?
It would either be the confrontation with the Tonberry in the village and Nee's sort of a impassioned speech towards the Tonberry about why what they're doing completely sucks, which I really tried to go all out with that one, because obviously before we were just doing like general, don't do that, which wasn't really working, so I decided to just try and channel the Doctor a bit of why what they were doing wasn't kind and karma and kind of contradictory to what they believed in, as well as pointing out the fact that what they were doing was inadvertently helping the people who actually did it get away, which was, again, contradictory. And the other thing that tied for the favourite moment would be, again, the confrontation with Fane Pharaoh, where, see, Rocket had a panic attack, we had now a confrontation, and then just the constant back and forth between both sides.
Yeah, it was tense, but it was great. I loved it.
Also, he's been constantly having me roll for Penumbra's next appearance, which I'm glad hasn't happened without a Blue Mage guy who I've just instantly forgotten his name. Blanked.
Kelgor,
yes.
Kelgor of all three.
Yes, I rather hope that doesn't happen when he's not there, because if so, that's, well, wasted.
Alright, and so, from everything that you guys have just heard, Paladin and Soviet, have you any thoughts?
No, not really.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Well, then we just gotta wait on Lumina a bit, so until she shows up, do you, the rest of you have anything else to say about the session itself? Any observations? Things you want to say or comment on? Anything else you want to
Aside from
clarify?
Our current plan for dealing with the camp is Thanatos sneaks around the back, sets something on fire, I sneak in, release the animals, and then maybe get some proof of their involvement. Then we're gonna retreat back to the camp of these little guys, show them the proof, me of Kelgor, and then come back with an army of OP Tonberries, maybe.
More shipping next session.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Lumina. So, what was your favorite parts of the session, Lumina? Since we just went through everyone else's favorite moments, what were your favorites?
The part where we shipped.
I was there in Athena.
There weren't really very many of those this time. So any other?
So that doesn't count for this session. Sorry.
Yeah, there weren't really a whole lot of those because Athena and Kelgor kind of fucked off really early.
I mean,
Still.
there was like jabs and teasing. But,
Jab all you want, but it would never happen.
Jibber jabber all you want. It makes no difference.
Jibber jabber juba, as my niece put it today.
I suppose the only thing else I have to, because I was going to ask, how many animals are in captivity?
Many.
Enough to cause a ruckus and hopefully cause some chaos while we, get ready.
Okay, that gives me some idea.
Right.
Army of Tonberries, it's poopy pants time.
But no, for real.
Oh.
Any other particular moments that you really liked or enjoyed?
Hmm. Mm,
Almost feel insulted.
well, there was that oh shit moment with the machinery.
Oh yeah, Tonberrys Rocket's panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually just pulled that out of my ass. So, Rocket's reaction.
Also,
She was in the way.
It's because she rolled a critical failure, and critical failures in FFD6 tend to come with complications. And the complication was not her stealth roll was compromised, and so was everyone else's by her having a PTSD panic attack.
Also, next session, Rocket may get to confront one of the people that's been, by tormentors.
Which should be fun to see happen.
Damn. Well, this has been a very good topic. It's about half an hour gone.
Yeah,
Really?
damn. And
Very good.
there was a lot that happened this session. It was a lot of character development and interactions, a lot of specific movements. There was a lot to talk about.
Next session will be a big fight or two.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, just a random update. I've been talking to Blank this week. He seems to still be alive.
Nice.
Cool.
Thank you.
No, you talk to his ghost.
I would ask when's the next chapter coming out, but I know.
Yeah, no.
Fucking dare you, degenerate.
You
No.
see dead people.
Stand down, sir.
As I said,
It's
I know
time.
better than to ask that.
Don't ask about human nature. Don't ask about their very own sons, and don't ask
And ask about forgiveness pending. Oh, wait, that's the wrong person.
What was
Oh,
it?
wait,
Oh.
wrong person.
I was gonna say Twin Peaks.
you!
I was gonna. You know what I really miss? I miss Twin Peaks.
Ditto.
When
I
Blank
miss
gets
it a
back,
lot.
it's gonna, hey, we need to murder your character some more. Damn it.
It's been so long. I feel for Blank. I just feel like maybe we'll just have to kill off Sprout.
Either that or just start up a totally separate thing. But then again, we've already got a 56 going. But anyways.
So,
So,
even if we do continue, we are around the point, if I recall, where killing off Sprout would be feasible because the character is about to turn into a Wendigo.
Yep.
I have to ask, Katie, what's with your voice today?
What do you mean?
New mic.
You sound
New mic
very
and it's
different.
louder.
new microphone.
I have an actual microphone.
Which I was going to say earlier,
Oh.
could you maybe fiddle about with the sound?
But,
Might be able to.
Mic sensitivity.
Yes,
yeah.
because it
to
might
me,
be
it
able to
sounds
stop
like-
the typing.
You sound really different. Like you sound really, really awake than your usual sleepy self.
And his coffee.
I hate coffee.
Coffee.
So do I.
All
I
right.
prefer tea, but that's just because I'm British.
And I just
Same here. Not much of a coffee man.
I realized it was way too high.
Okay, so shall we move on to topic 2?
Go
I
ahead.
me myself
Yes.
because I haven't watched it yet.
No.
All right,
I just
You
listen.
really need to watch it before we start, Tom.
I mean,
You have
I
a bad
didn't-
habit of
I
that.
didn't have time because I've been doing shit. And
Alright.
shit's
Yes.
happening, so...
All right,
Time is on no one's side.
Alright, so, new episode of MLP Season 9, Trivial Pursuits, in which Twilight Sparkle and Pinkie Pie participated in a trivia contest in Ponyville, a weekly thing, in which Twilight Sparkle was the reigning champ. And due to her excessively OCD nature and being extremely competitive when it comes to just knowing things, she got more than a little, she kind of went lesson 0 mode. There were a fuck ton of amazing meme faces in this episode. Just loads,
Yes.
loads, and loads of them.
So many.
There were so many great faces.
I was concerned
Sounds like meme field.
watching the entire episode.
Yeah, her sanity took a nosedive for a large chunk of it. And she became, and like, all of the worst parts of her personality were put on full and open display. Her OCD, her obsessiveness with that being right, just how competitive she can be. And she started being a rule monger too, which I, as a D&D player, very much took issue with. So this was pretty much all of Twilight's worst traits dialed up to 11. Up until the very end, where she kind of pulled herself together and just had fun with it. So, across the whole episode, it was kind of hard to like Twilight for most of it because she was definitely not at her best. It was Twilight at her worst, I think. Just
Yeah.
outside of like going full bad guy mode. But it was still, outside of that, an enjoyable episode. There was a lot of visual humor. And just a lot of funny little back and forth. And the fact that the vast majority of the episode took place in one building was actually pretty impressive, that they were able to make one set piece work so well. And the intro and the opening scene before the intro was actually hilarious because Spike was kind of unnerved by it all, and it was hilarious because Twilight was twilighting. So yeah, overall I'd say I like it, but some serious points are taken away for Twilight being kind of an asshole this episode. But she made up in the end, and it kind of repaired some of it. But there were some definite points and it folded away because of it. But outside of that, it was fun, if nothing else. And some of the banter and observations and just the faces were hilarious. So, 6 or 7 out of 10, maybe a little less. Lumina, what did you think?
I thought Twilight was a bit extra this episode.
A bit extra. Yeah, it seems about right.
Extra insanity, from the sounds of it.
Yeah, pretty much. Literally went off a rocker.
But I loved the faces she made.
So many great faces.
We're gonna have
My
to get,
goodness.
We're gonna have to get Tiny Tux to do some work this week.
She has now become the Nicolas Cage of that universe.
That's not
Well,
quite how that works.
time to hit the old dusty trail.
Only she hasn't put herself in a lot of debt and been forced to work on movies she didn't want to work on.
Oh boy.
True. Oh god, there was a dark times for him.
All right. Anyone else seen the episode among us?
No, sorry.
Yes.
All right.
But it sounds quite entertaining, I have to say.
All right. Soviet, your thoughts?
Episode was good. Story was. I mean, when I read the synopsis, I was like, "This doesn't sound entertaining at all." Oh, boy, howdy, was I fucking wrong.
Best response.
Yep. It was entertaining. I'll give it that. Which is always the first thing I look out for. Is it fun to watch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, what the fuck kind of trivia game has over 50 plus different rules? Excuse me? Excuse me?
Yes.
Sunburst can't even mention the word trivia around Starlight anymore.
Traumatized.
I think that just resets back to the Joseph Stalin stage of that character.
Yes, PTSD is what happens. Jesus, I'm fat. All right, so I guess that's topic 2. So,
Oh, that was quick.
yeah, I mean, we've gone through everyone's thoughts. Fun episode. We thought Twilight was a little extra, but the rest of it was entertaining. So let's get everyone else back in here. So, Tom and Hades and
Return.
we need to ping them so that they can get back in here. Hades.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to calm myself down because of what happens next in this. Which,
All right.
those who cannot handle what happens next, please,
All right. Well,
please control
that-
yourselves.
if those two could hurry up and undeafen themselves.
Oh my god, I never heard anything like this in D&D. This is the most. What the fuck?
Well, our next
Crimson.
our next topic is the continuing adventures of Crimson the Dragon. Someone get
Indeed.
Hades. Someone get Hades.
Hades.
He's deafened. We're saying things.
Undeafen.
Yeah, that won't work because he can't hear us. And he's on Do Not Disturb, so poking him won't help.
Well,
Hold on.
What
Oh
are you
wait,
gonna do?
no, I don't have his phone number. What? Why would I think I have his phone number? What?
I don't
I
know.
don't have anyone's phone number in this chat.
I
I
should
don't know. Are you a friend?
What?
Or... No. I was going to say you a friend or a stalker. Why would you ship him?
because
No, it's just like
shipping.
ships.
Lumina, what the fuck?
I love how I
Please,
undeafen myself, and the first thing I hear is Lumina shipping.
Lumina, please. Don't become the next ship lord. I had enough with one. I don't want another.
I was an idiot.
Please.
You know, he said you're on Do Not Disturb. Discord messages aren't going to pop up. You're also deafened, so you can't hear us. And my first instinct, for some reason, is to pull out my phone like I have your phone number. But I don't.
And then we're going to start shipping you in Soviet.
So, I'm about to say,
No homo.
Who is the ship for?
You and Soviet.
No homo.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm going to just stand in this corner alone, facing away from Lumina.
Do you see, Hades? Do you see? Do you get it now?
Daisy,
No.
This is what you put us through. This is what you did.
Daisy, here's the difference between this ship and yours. You accidentally caused your ships. This is just completely random.
It's still unjustified, so now you understand. There you go.
But-
This is how it feels, motherfucker. Karma's a bitch.
I'm gonna slowly.
I stole this from a movie, but life is a bitch in high heels, and her stripper name is Karma.
That's good.
That
I'm
is
gonna use
good.
that.
Nice.
Just
I'm gonna
like
use
that. Just like that, I slowly just slide out this chair and slide out the room. I'm out.
But no, Darkness, we need you for topic 3, the continuing adventures of Crimson the
Shit.
Dragon. It's time to begin.
Okay, I stay.
Everyone shipping me with Athena? I sleep. Crimson the Dragon? Real shit.
Yep. Here we go. Quick recap. After they escape the castle and defeat the terrifying monster that lurking beneath it, on the way back to the town, they had to take a detour because Crimson heard voices in her head, which one night later, it turns out one of the personalities in her head took over. The kind one was giving out nice comments and even cooked them a feast. They carried on the journey to get Crimson sorted out by going back to the halfling known as Haven. Hopefully he might be able to help her. Until she almost drowned the elf while she was getting some water. And then Mirren told her to stop. He just got Crimson's tail around his throat and being choked out of life. And then Doran threatened to cut off her tail. He got smacked out of the way. But then Aston showed up and she just freaking let go of the other two and pounced on him and tried to kill him. Surveyor knocked Crimson out, and Aston nearly died again. Because he also nearly died against the monster. Going back, found out that she has got some form of curse going on in her head, and it appears the only way they'd be able to get rid of it if they go inside Crimson's mind, find the source of this curse, and eliminate it. But you can only send like 1 or 2 at a time. Any more than that could drain the wizard's power and make him exhausted, and they either end up trapped in there, or they get flinged back out, then Crimson wakes up and kills them all if the evil one takes over. And then while they're in there, he forgot to mention something to them. He forgot to mention if they die in there, they die for real.
It's the fucking Matrix.
Okay, who died?
Let's find out. So
line
they
makes
begin
it
their
real.
So the conflict began against the evil Crimson. Well, the nice, kind Crimson is trying to fight off against the evil one, which the evil one at this point is like a full-grown version of Crimson, but more demonic and evil-looking. Like, Doran went to go and help her, while Mirren went to get the original Crimson, who's basically trapped in chains in a cage and having a bit of a mental breakdown of what the fuck's going on. Darwin went to attack and had some mighty swings, didn't really bother the evil Crimson. She just kept smacking him out the way like a bug. And then Mirren was trying to get out of this cage, and Darwin screamed over, "Mirren, my attacks ain't working. Where are you hitting? I'm hit her everywhere. Hit her in the soft spot, for goodness sake. Don't hit her tough scales. The hide is strong. the hide is too tough. Just hit her in the soft spot. Oh, got it. Right, soft spot. Oh boy.
Between the legs.
And at this point, the female one was about to get a face full of the evil Crimson's fire until this happened. Oh shit.
Oh, boy. Sounds like fun.
Yep.
Is this safe for work?
All I say is I had to double make sure with my friend if I heard this clearly, but yeah, this is what happened. Get ready, folks. Oh boy.
I'm listening.
Feel the wrath of my axe, you cunt! And and then a moment of silence, I was like, wait. And then Mirren had to point out, well, out of character. Hang on a sec, Don. Too late. He rolled. He hit a target, but then he's like, where did you exactly hit her? Like you said, the weak spot. Why? You did hit her, like, in the underbelly, right? What's I supposed to? Oh, dumbass!
So where did he hit her?
Take a very... No, don't tell him yet. I want you to think for a second.
He hit her in
Think
the
about it.
reproductive organs, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. X went right up there.
It would explain why he shouted, "Take this, you cunt!" Because he was literally attacking that organ.
Mm-hmm. Well, feel the wrath of my axe again. Oh, God. It's like... And then, as soon as he realized what he'd done, DM, could I have a re-roll? You confirm the target. You roll the dice. There is no re-roll. So what happens? You're bound to find out.
Oh,
Oh
God.
shit.
Oh.
As she was about to be fired, she felt a terrible pain coming down below. And then she scrunched up in agony and freaking her grip just immediately let loose as she felt a terrible pain. The nice Crimson flew out of there. As for the evil Crimson, and then suddenly she saw Doran, you hairy little bastard, and smacked him across the fucking...
Yeet the dwarf.
Yay!
Which he went fine and then showed complete attention towards him, but also was in a complete agonizing pain and rage. But before she could even react, because she was in pain, there.
Sorry. I lost
As
sound
for
for a
the
minute.
Mirren,
I lost sound for a second. Could you repeat some of that? Rewind like 30 seconds or a minute or so. My sound cut out for a second, and I don't.
Okay.
And it might have also cut out for the recording. So just to be safe, could you say it again?
Okay. So basically, after the Evil Crimson was in immense pain through Doran's attack, she did throw her attention towards him, but then the nice Crimson just swooped Doran off his feet and got him out of there as she breathed fire right where he was, which enraged her even more. It's one thing to remove me from my prey, but to hit me in such a tender place. You will lose your tender place next.
That is dragon speak for saying you are about to receive a life-ending bite job. Because she's gonna bite his dick off.
And the only bright side I could think of, it would be my first dwarf I eat. As for Mirren, he finally got the cage open and also got the chains off. And as he told her to follow him, she was just still in the cage having a panic attack. Which at this point, Mirren was like, hello, Crimson. What's wrong with you? This is not the time or the place we need to go. Come on. What's wrong with you? It's pointless. What? What do you mean it's pointless? I freed you. Now come on. We need to help Doran and the other Crimson to defeat evil Crimson. There's no point, though.
Wow, Crimson's having an existential crisis? Wasn't expecting that shit. Jeez.
But Crimson, this ain't you. Have I rescued the nice one instead? Tell me, what the hell's wrong with you? Usually you're up for a good fight and everything and all that. Miran, she is the dragon I would never be. I can't beat that. She is what I'm supposed to be. I can't compare to her. I'm nothing. I'm weak. Listen, we don't have time for this. We just need to go. You can tell me more about it later. You don't get it. I am nothing but a failed hatchling, Miran. I don't stand a chance against that. What do you mean, a failed hatchling? You look like a red dragon to me. What's he on about? And then at this point where they're having this conflict, the evil Crimson's standing behind them. Oh no. I think she means that she was nothing but a disappointment to her family. When she hatched, she was pretty much the runt of the litter, the smallest of us. It was quite humiliating. She looked so weak and defenseless and sickly. They abandoned her. It was very undignifying. She was left to die. Although the only reason why she survived to this day, because she got a little bit lucky with a local traveler. Yes, he was pretty handy to keep you alive, kept you well fed. But unfortunately, you failed to save even him. Your only friend, and your only chance of having a little happy family. Which, thinking about it, just makes me feel utter sick, thinking you can put so much faith in a human. So this is why you've never expressed your emotions truly. It's not through arrogance. You're afraid to lose someone. And at this point, she would have replied back, but she didn't. She was just complete horrified nose. But do not worry. I can end all of your worries and troubles. If you just give in to me. You see, I could kill you now, but then there's a little problem with that. Because you are the original, if you die, then I technically die, and that would be a problem for the both of us. Huh? Our lives are linked, so if you wish to get rid of me, you need to kill her. And tell me, are you the one to kill her, human?
This shit got deep.
I-
I'm used to
Because if you-
I'm used to Crimson stories being fun and laughter, not this. Oh jeez.
I know. Not even I was imagining this. I never thought
Everything's fun and laughter until plot happens.
Until plot happens. Yeah, pretty much.
This cannot be right. You're the curse. You should be. You're nothing but an illusion, a fake, compared to her. And I will stop you, no matter what. Then if you wish to do that, it's the only way to kill her. No, there is another way. You have to choose, Miran. Let your precious Crimson live in my image and save millions of lives by killing her. Which would it be? The sake of everyone else or her? You have to choose.
Curses are fun.
Curses are bitches, I know from that fact now.
You better pray I never curse you on FFD6.
You want to know an answer, you evil conniving bitch? Your insults don't faze me, human. I already suffered a painful humiliation, which I will deal with that. Most momentarily. But go on, give your shitty little heroic speech of cliches while you can. And I will just try to find some laughter in it before you die. I don't care if it means the end of my life. I am not going to kill Crimson. I will try to find a way to defeat you, and she will defeat you regardless. And why is that? Because I believe in her, for she is real, and you are just nothing but a cursed imitation of her. You're done. Well, that's all I have to say, so yeah. Weren't you even a bit timid by that? No. Time to die. And then at this point, an unexpected arrival showed up. For someone called out to her, and as soon as she recognized the voice, she turned her direction towards her, only to get blasted in the face by a beam of light that temporarily blinded her, which gave Crimson and Mirren a chance to get out of there. Turns out Surveyor managed to get in. Yeah, while this is all happening in the dream, I just call it the dream world. In the real world, Surveyor managed to convince the wizard to get her in there. Only downside is they have less time to be in there because the more people that go through this spell, the more magic it drains out of him and exhausts him. So they have around 25 minutes before the spell fails. Around that. And at this time, Evil Crimson's just freaking throwing fire everywhere in a beautiful rage. No! First! My private quarters, now my eyes! Why? You have no idea how bloody painful this is. And at this point, they are trying to get a plan together and snap Crimson back into the fight. And they figured a way there may be only one way to defeat this evil version, which of course she hates the idea. You want me to do what? I know you have your differences, but it's the only way. I am not teaming up with that. I have a name. I'm basically you. Shut up. No, we're not the same. Crimson, forget your dragon pride and think of the bigger picture at hand. This thing, we need to defeat it, and we need all of us to work together while we still have time. But just come to an agreement. Unless you want to lose another family. Wait, another family? Crimson, when we get out of this, it's about time you tell everyone what you've been through. We need to work together. That's if we make it out. Does that mean we're going to finally fight together? Yes. Oh, Crimmy, I know you can work with... Don't ever call me that or hug me. Let's just get this over with. They fought the evil Crimson. It was a tough and fearsome battle. And almost got them killed. But near the dying moments where it looked like all hope was lost, Dawn was down for the count. Surveyor's running out of magic to heal everyone. And Mirren, he was taking a lot of damage, not to mention, unfortunately, where his shield did shield off against the blast, it also melted, so his shield was completely enabled. And his sword is currently stuck in the evil Crimson. So he's completely disarmed at this point. It was that, though, like with Crimson, she was near a dying state until the nice Crimson came over and decided to did the thing she didn't want her to do. Hug her. which Crimson was like, no, what are you doing? Get off, no! And then a huge bright light happened, which sent the evil Crimson into a huge bout of rage and even blew fire at it.
Jesus.
No! And
the magic of friendship, motherfuckers!
Go
light
on.
and smoke
Why are
cleared.
you booing me? I'm right.
The magic of friendship, motherfucker. That's how the entire series is going to end with that line. Final episodes, it doesn't matter anymore. You can do what you want.
Which it managed to shield Crimson from the blast and also healed her up. You are fucking kidding me. You chose that frickin' primate-loving freak over me. Fine. If I can't live in this body, then none of us will live. So she went after Crimson. And while the fight was going to hand, it seems her attacks had a bit of a double boost of power for a temporary amount of time, which getting some really good damage and even managed to burn through the evil Crimson's tough hide of scales. And did some considerable amounts of damage. At this point, this gave Surveyor time to heal the other two members, which every time the evil Crimson tried to stop her from healing, original Crimson just kept freaking grabbing her attention away and kept attacking her and annoying her. Which just bought enough time for them to get back on their feet and fight again. Doran got onto the evil Crimson's back and took out her wings, so then she came crashing down
Nice.
to the ground. Mirren attacked the underbelly, not where Doran attacked. And as for Crimson, she kept blasting huge holes into her scales, which also had other weak points for them to attack. And as for Surveyor, she managed to drink a vial that gave her more MP and power to basically keep the team healed up and, of course, use some attacks that actually did do some damage to the evil Crimson. They eventually did wear her down, and she was at near death point. But, of course, in her final moments, she did say one thing before Crimson finished her off. Why are you laughing? It's obvious why I'm laughing. So what? You bullshit your way to victory against me. For now, Crimson. But know this. In the end, our instinct for what we are will always prevail. You may try to change yourself for the better for these filthy primates. But at the end of the day, dominance of the Red Dragon ways will always prevail. But the question is, when you destroyed everything you love, how long will you survive on your own? Certainly longer than you ever will, bitch.
That's a good comeback.
And then vaporized her, and as soon as that happened, huge bright light just freaking flashed around them. And everyone, except Crimson, woke up and wondered, did we do it? We did it! Why doesn't my body feel like shit? I believe the wizard can tell you that. I told you. Damn my old age. I'm sorry I forgot that you could have died in there. We could have died in there? Yeah. You have issues. then Crimson woke up and was like, so, dearie, how are you feeling? Back off, or I'm going to remove that head. Oh, she's back to normal now. Oh, well, I got Macy. Macy? I named my mace. Macy, the mighty smasher of my foes. God's sake. And they all end off there, and they manage to survive and defeat the evil Crimson. And Crimson's back to normal.
Hooray! Oh, shit. All right. So, with that in mind, we are pretty much at time. We've got like 30 seconds left before we're at a full hour. So, where we're gonna have to end. So thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, so much for tuning in to this episode of Jibber Jabber. We hope you enjoyed, and we hope you'll tune in next week. Till then, keep listening, people. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Ta-ta.
The magic
Yes.
of friendship defeats everything!